Welcome to the Strategies for Success Online Summit 2015. I am so excited. Let me introduce myself. I am your host, Gina Battye. To celebrate the launch of my new course, which is called Discover Your Direction, I decided to reach out to 7 experts from around the world to have conversations about the things that keep you up at night. So listen, I'm not here to live by half measures, and I know that you don't want to either. For all you persistent, determined, strong, and confident women out there, I know you will resonate with this, and this summit is for you. Let's get straight to it. If you're unsure where you're heading and you're looking for guidance on how to figure that out, and if you want to figure out why you're here and your purpose in life, and you want to know how to wrap the things that you're passionate about around your vision and your purpose, and you want to get your hands on strategies to keep you focused and to feel fulfilled, this is where you need to be. Look at me. I used to be a UK size 16, which is a US size 12. I turned my life around by focusing on 3 areas. The first was mastering my body. The second was mastering my self-belief and my mindset. And the third was mastering my mission and purpose in life. As you can see, I've gone through quite a transformation, not only physically, but also mentally, emotionally, and spiritually too. My work focuses around personal mastery, specifically focusing on those 3 areas: body mastery, self-belief mastery, and mission and purpose in life. I work with strong and confident women, where I'm a high-performance personal mastery coach, best-selling author, and one of the UK's leading public speakers. So what is personal mastery? Personal mastery is about being persistent in effort and stubbornly tenacious in attitude. It's not about being perfect every day. As I said, it's about being persistent and stubbornly tenacious. It's about being focused and determined and believing in yourself and believing that anything that you dream about, you can make happen. I am so excited to bring you 8 mastery experts from around the world, and they will all be under your roof. I'm bringing to you strong and confident people who work every day to master themselves and their craft. They know to their very core that personal mastery isn't a one-time investment, a quick fix, or a short-term goal. They know it is a lifelong investment. If you're truly working on personal mastery, is there ever a finishing line to that? My answer would be no, there's never a finishing line to it. There may be pauses where things are going great and you demonstrate that you're skillful at mastering situations and events in your life. If you go back and reflect on your life, even the most strong and confident people feel like they're getting kicked in the gut and are challenged to get back up at certain points in time. And at those points, it requires new skills to master that moment, that new kind of moment that you're experiencing. In my experience, it takes a minimum of 3 months for you to be able to take something new, be it a new skill, a new technique, or a new strategy, and to put it into place and start to see some changes. These new skills, techniques, and strategies are exactly what we're going to tackle in my new course, Discover Your Direction. More about that later on. The aim of the summit is to pull back the curtains on personal mastery and explore life-changing teachings that will set you up for success. So who will you hear from? I am talking to Michelle Cameron Coulter, Olympic gold medalist, about discovering your passion. I'm talking to Glenn Morshower, one of the busiest character actors in Hollywood. We're talking about alignment and intuition. I'm talking to Sharon Lechter, the genius behind the Rich Dad brand and currently partnered with the Napoleon Hill Foundation. We're talking about vision and living a life of significance and success. I'm talking to Dr. Bill Dorfman, celebrity dentist and New York Times best-selling author. We're talking about goal setting, masterminding, and leadership. I'm talking to Roz Savage, MBE, who holds 4 world records for ocean rowing and is the first woman to row solo across 3 oceans. We're talking about courage and collective consciousness. I'm talking to Eric Swanson, award-winning speaker and success coach, about productivity and habits for success. And last, but certainly not least, I am talking to Dr. Gina Battye, best-selling author of numerous books, law of attraction expert, and featured in the movie The Secret. We're talking about overcoming procrastination. There's a special bonus for you too. To celebrate the launch of my new course, Discover Your Direction, I'll be hosting a live webinar. We'll be talking about discovering your direction and explore the key learnings from the summit. Be sure to check in with all the conversations. You will learn something from every single one, I promise you. It is my mission to invite people around the world to step into their power. I offer you that invitation now to step up and realise your full potential. I invite you into our world, into our lives, where you'll hear from 8 mastery experts. What we have to share with you will start you on your journey to realising your full potential. Ask yourself, here and now, are you all in? If you are, let's go. Let's do this. Welcome back to the Strategies for Success Summit. To celebrate the launch of my new course, which is called Discover Your Direction, I decided to reach out to 7 experts from around the world to have a conversation around mastery and vision and habits for success. I'll talk to you a little bit more about my course later on. So to introduce myself, I'm Gina and I'm your host. My work focuses around personal mastery and specifically focusing on body mastery, self-belief mastery, and your mission and purpose. Now, personal mastery is about being persistent in effort and stubbornly tenacious in attitude. It's not about being perfect every day, which a lot of people think it is. As I said, it's about being persistent and stubbornly tenacious. It's about being focused and determined and believing in yourself and believing that anything that you dream about, you can make happen. So listen, we're inviting you into our world and into our lives so you can develop habits to realize your full potential. Now, for all you persistent, determined, strong and confident women out there, I know that you will resonate with this and with my guest today. Let me introduce you to Sharon Lechter. Hi, Sharon. Give us a wave.
Hey. Lovely to be with you, Gina.
Thank you so much for being with us. Now, Sharon knows a thing or two about being persistent, determined and strong from her time working in a male-dominated environment. So let me introduce Sharon to you officially, and then we'll have a really good conversation, I'm sure. Sharon Lechter is an entrepreneur, author, and I'll show you her books in just a few moments, a philanthropist, international speaker, licensed CPA, and chartered global management accountant. A lifelong education advocate, she's the founder and CEO of Pay Your Family First, which is a financial education organization. And she's also, I love this title by the way, Chief Abundance Officer for EBW 2020, which is an organization dedicated to empowering 1 billion women by 2020. Credited as the genius behind the Rich Dad brand, Sharon is currently partnered with the Napoleon Hill Foundation. As a driving force behind these 2 mega brands, and they really are mega brands, Sharon has demonstrated her entrepreneurial vision and business expertise while empowering audiences with messages of hope and prosperity. Let me show you her books. Sharon is also author of the best-selling books, Think and Grow Rich for Women, Outwitting the Devil, 3 Feet from Gold, and also, she was behind Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Sharon lives each day in pursuit of and to inspire others to achieve a life of significance and success. Sharon, a massive welcome from us. How are you today?
I'm fantastic, Gina. Happy to be home, actually. I've been on the road. I just got back last night, so happy to be joining you from the comfort of my own office.
Fabulous. And I know you're dealing with a time zone time change and time zone differences there as well. So thank you for taking the time out.
Happy to be with you.
Fabulous. So listen, I want to talk to you today about vision and living a life of significance and success. But before we delve into all of that, tell us a little bit about your backstory.
Well, you shared some of it. I started my career as a CPA, and I was in a public accounting firm. And at the ripe old age of 25, when we know everything,
absolutely we do.
The entrepreneurial bug bit me, and I left. And it was with a client. I went into a new company with him, and it was the worst business decision of my life. I'm sure everybody watching this has made a few bad decisions. But it turned, as Napoleon Hill himself said, every adversity creates the seed of an equal or greater benefit. And so had I not made that bad business decision, I wouldn't have met my husband of 35 years. So
oh, beautiful.
My worst business decision became my best life decision. So That's a very important thing for people to realize. But that started my journey in starting and building companies. And I helped create the very first talking book for children, the books with the sound strips down the side where you would touch it and make noise. And I met the inventor and helped him build that business over 4 years at a time when my own children and their friends didn't like to read very much. And so then we sold that company 4 years later, after having a global success, partnering with Disney World and Warner Brothers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and sold that in 1991. And that's when we moved to Arizona.
Okay.
So, and my oldest son went off to college the next year, graduated in 1992, and he came home in December in credit card debt. And I was pretty upset with him, but I was more angry with myself because I thought I had taught him about money. I taught him everything my parents taught me. When I graduated from college, I had $22,000 ready to start my career and my first apartment. But there weren't credit cards when I went off to college. And so he was with me when I used my credit cards, just charge it, Mom. But he wasn't with me when I paid them off every month. And when he got to college, he had the gamut of tables offering free food, free money, free t-shirt, free money. And so he got into that unfortunate spiral down into debt. That was December of 1992, and that's when I dedicated the rest of my career to financial education and financial literacy. Fast forward a few years, I met Robert Kiyosaki. We wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We became partners. We wrote 15 books together in that series. We grew the Rich Dad brand to the largest personal finance brand in the world. And in 2007, we were no longer aligned in what we wanted to do. He wanted to start franchising. And so I chose to lead the Rich Dad organization in 2007. And it's important to share that because sometimes we have to close one door in our lives for other doors of opportunity to open.
Definitely.
And it was a very difficult decision. We were at the height of our success. And I wasn't happy. And I finally, I said, I have to make a move so that I can be congruent with my own personal mission. I didn't agree with the franchising model. And so I left the Rich Dad organization. And a few months later, I got the call from President Bush asking me to be on the first President's Advisory Council for Financial Literacy, a huge honor, one that I would not have received had I not made the decision to leave Rich Dad.
That door opened.
Yep. And a few months later, I got the call in April of 2008 from the Napoleon Hill Foundation. Now, I had known Don Green for several years because we were in the same circles. But he said, Sharon, I understand you left Rich Dad. We need your help because of what, of course, happened to the global economy at that time. We want to reinvigorate the teachings of Napoleon Hill. And so not only had I started my own company called Pay Your Family First, but I aligned with the Napoleon Hill Foundation to support them. And we wrote 3 Feet from Gold, Outwitting the Devil, and Think and Grow Rich for Women, the ones that you just showed.
I'll do it again. Go on.
And I'm now working on 3 additional books with them. One is Think and Grow Rich for the Next Generation. And another one is Think and Grow Rich, The Magic Key. The third one is still, in the secret stage, but we're still moving forward and supporting that brand. And along that line, coming full circle, I talk about the power of association. I was asked by my profession, I'm an international spokesperson on the subject of financial literacy for the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. Wow. So that kind of brings you full circle to where I am today, and happy to be talking to you, Gina.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for stepping us through that. I think it's always really eye-opening for people to understand not only the opportunities that you've had, but also the challenges, and it sounds like the challenges that you've had, they've been quite significant, but they've really shaped how you've got to where you are today. And, clearly you've been very passionate about financial literacy and educating people around that. And, you are one of the biggest names out there with that now. So congratulations on all your fantastic success.
Thank you.
An incredible journey. So talk to us about, obviously you're passionate about financial literacy and getting the message out there. What else are you passionate about?
Well, certainly family. Of course, the name of my company is Pay Your Family First. I think it's very important for each of us to understand, no matter what you do for money, if you're an employee or whether you're a business owner, it's not what you do for the money that counts, it's what you do with that paycheck. So, understand that every dollar that comes into your hand, you have the opportunity on whether you're going to invest it, save it, or spend it. And so the only person in control of your life is you. And that's the message that we need to get people to understand. Stop the entitlement, stop the, I feel like people owe me things. Let's take and add value to the world around us.
Definitely. And I've read a number of your books now, and each one of them has that core message all the way through it. And it's fabulous. It's very empowering. You give very practical steps on how to do that. Now let's talk about vision. I know from my work that there's so many people that I speak to that are not sure where they're heading in life. Now, you became a master around brand, first of all with Rich Dad, and now through the work with the Napoleon Hill Foundation. Talk us through the challenges that you faced when it came to mastering brand.
Well, I actually started with the talking book industry, and so
of course,
we had a new technology, but we needed to have validity and credibility, and so that's why we aligned with Walt Disney World, with Warner Brothers, because we wanted to align with their credibility, and that's how we were able to explode that brand. But we had to pay big checks to them because we were utilizing their brand, and so when we started the Rich Dad company, I said, we need to get to the point where people write us royalty checks instead of us writing them. So we had to consistently build the message. And when we first started, we thought our brand was cash flow, the game, but the world said, no, your brand is Rich Dad. And many people said, you can't do a finance book in purple. It should be red, black, or green. And we were very consistent. We said, that's why we want to make it purple. And so we grew this incredible purple initiative globally. In fact, in China, they call us the Purple Storm. But we wanted to stand apart from all those other business books. And today, when you go into a bookstore and you go into the business section, you see a lot of purple.
They're all purple.
So people are copying us, and that's, they talk about that being the greatest form of flattery. But we put a mark on that industry by creating our own messaging, our own brand, our own trade dress, so that people would recognize a book that's purple and black and gold, and they're going to know it's Rich Dad. Yeah. And so when I went to work, when I decided to leave Rich Dad and the foundation reached out to me, one of the things I talked to them about it, they don't really have a lot of brand consistency. And so we started adding that into the works that we're doing. We created the brand of books called Think and Grow Rich. And so all of the books I do with them is a brand of books called Think and Grow Rich. So we could highlight their trademark, which is, a lot of people are out there using it, but it's actually a trademark of the Napoleon Hill Foundation.
Okay.
And so if it's not authorized by the foundation, it's an unauthorized use of their trademark. And so it's very important. So as you build a brand, you need to understand what you want to look like, how you want to be remembered, you want to protect your intellectual property. All of those elements are very important. And consistency. So for instance, one of you just paid me a huge compliment talking about the consistency of my message through my books.
Yeah.
That's who I am. And if I went out and started talking about, loosey-goosey borrowing, obviously it wouldn't be consistent with me and my brand. So it's very important that you think about, what is your presentation online, through social media, through your website? How are you presenting yourself at events? I almost always wear red when I do interviews or speaking engagements as part of my trademark.
Every time I've seen you.
Yeah, well, sometimes I'll wear teal, other times I'll wear black. It's not always red, but it's a pretty consistent trademark for me. And so I want people to recognize who I am, what I stand for, and hopefully know that I'm there to support them in their own journey to success.
What would you say, touching upon the personal brand as well that you talked about there, what would you say was the catalyst for you to recognize that that's what you needed to do?
Well, being a celebrity, being a guru was never on my bucket list. That's not something that I ever aspired to. But as my journey in my career has come through my many years of service, when I left the Rich Dad organization, I realized that my own personal brand, my own personal integrity had been somewhat compromised by some of the things he wanted to do in the company. And so I said, I need to step out and reestablish my own credibility, my own brand. Certainly being on the President's Advisory Council was a huge step in that direction. Certainly being asked by the AICPA to be a national spokesperson or international spokesperson was a huge way of me establishing my personal brand, my own personal credibility. And then to be asked to step in after having built the largest personal finance brand, to be asked to step into the largest personal development brand, Napoleon Hill, and help revitalize that was a huge honor. And it allowed me to be Sharon Lechter throughout all of those transitions. And so through that process, I have paid close attention to my own personal brand. When I was at Rich Dad, it was the brand was Rich Dad, not Sharon Lechter.
Sure.
And so it was very important for me to step out and say, this is who I am, this is what I stand for. People today will say, well, actually, after I read Think and Grow Rich for Women, I read 3 Feet from Gold, I now recognize your contributions to the entire Rich Dad series. And that's a huge compliment because I poured my heart and soul. It's like giving birth to babies every time you write a book. And I've written 21 of them. So I'm hoping that my branding, my messaging is consistent throughout.
There's no hoping, it is.
Thank you.
Rest assured, it is.
Thank you.
And I've met you a couple of times now in person, and every time that I see you, I find it incredibly striking that you are a personal brand. You are living it, you're breathing it, you're consistent with it. Everything about you screams Sharon Lechter. And when I've read the books that I've read, I look at the books and I'm reading through them and I'm thinking, this is so Sharon. There's even when I read the Rich Dad Poor Dad with Robert Kiyosaki, I could see you in it the whole way through. It was fabulous. So I just love the fact that, going back to what you said a little bit earlier around, it was never your mission to be a guru, or it was never in your vision to do any of those things. How has that come about, do you think?
Well, I think what happens, and for me, my mission, my vision was to change how we teach our children, to make sure we teach them about money. And I could accomplish that more by establishing my personal brand. Mm-hmm. And so again, my vision has never been about me. It's always been about accomplishing that task. In 2015, I was highlighted as the #1 financial educator for the year. My curriculum that I created for colleges was highlighted as the #1 curriculum for the year. Those things, obviously I'm honored, but for me, that only helps me get more doors to open and more people to listen about the need for teaching our children about money. I had a law passed in Arizona requiring financial education for high school graduation. I'm now working in Washington with one of our representatives to get a law passed that will require anyone applying for student loan debt that they will be required to take financial education. Those are the things, wow. Those are the reasons I work on developing my personal brand, for what I can be an advocate for to get things changed in our country, in our global existence, to make sure people have the tools they need to build that financial freedom. Because at the end of the day, Gina, everyone, we're either a master of our money or a slave to it. We either have money that can help us live the lives we choose, or that lack of money dictates how we must live and causes us to worry and live a life that we don't choose. And so it's very important for people very early on to learn the power that we assign to money and make sure that we take the control and not allow debt to control us.
Absolutely. And that's fundamental, incredibly fundamental. Talk to us about I'm interested to hear the key learning points for you around becoming a master of what you do and who you are.
Well, I think it's focus. I think, to use Napoleon Hill's words, definiteness of purpose, understanding, every successful business does one of two things: solve a problem or serve a need. And so each and every one of us, and that essence is what gives us the motivation to get out of bed in the morning. What problem are we solving? What need are we serving? And if we remind ourselves of that every day, then that's going to give us that vision, that fuel that passion, that fuel of what keeps us moving forward as an entrepreneur, a business owner, or even an employee. What are we doing to add value to the world? And that's where you need to keep that focus. That helps you continue to build in the direction. So for instance, we talk about goals, we talk about vision. My father taught me a map doesn't do you any good if you don't know where you are and where you want to go. And so you need to know where you are financially. It's a huge step. Sometimes we don't like what we find out.
Yeah.
That gives you a starting point, and then you can plan to where you want to be. And just the knowing gives you control, makes you feel at least you now are taking control of your own financial life. And so when you are drifting, as Napoleon Hill talked in Outwitting the Devil, that means you're aimless. You go with the flow, you're easily persuaded to do something that wasn't in your original plan. That definiteness of purpose means you're a non-drifter. You know what you want. Will you get off course? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But by knowing where you want to go, it allows you to recalibrate and get back on course to reach the goal that you choose.
Great answer. Great answer. And it's interesting that you brought up the serve a need and solve a problem. In the book, I triple highlighted that bit. I was like, that is so poignant. You know, nobody has ever kind of said the same thing so clearly especially to me. So it was a really powerful moment to know that. And like you said, that is what gets you out of bed in the morning. It's really powerful. Now, I know a lot of women, especially, they struggle to blend and balance their personal and business life. What do you think is important for women around that?
Well, I actually hate the term work-life balance.
I know you do. That's why I brought it up.
You know, it's in the book, Think and Grow Rich for Women. I say, let's get rid of that concept and replace it with the concept of one big life. Each and every one of us has a personal life. We have our physical life, our financial, our spiritual, our family, our relationships, our health. All of those things are very important, and they come together to make us who we are. And so when we try and strive for this work-life balance, that is an unattainable goal. We are always multitasking. We're always moving. When you're in balance, you're not moving. I say the word balance only belongs in the yoga studio. But we want to, in the morning, if you get up and you realize you didn't spend enough time with your children yesterday, acknowledge it and make a choice to do better today. Don't criticize yourself and feel worry and shame and regret. I share the definition of the term worry, which comes from that unattainable goal, work-life balance. You're worried that you're not doing it right. The definition of worry is to pray for what you do not want. Let me repeat that. To worry is to pray for what you do not want. And so you're focusing on the negatives. Therefore, you have negative results.
Of course.
So every time you find yourself in a worry storm, stop and say, instead of focusing on what I don't want to have happen, and change your thought process and start focusing on what you do want to have happen. And then you'll start seeing more positive results. And you will physically feel better, because that worry it causes harm internally.
Absolutely. Now, you touched upon mindset there. What role do you think mindset has generally in terms of living a life of significance and success?
Oh, it's everything. It's hugely important. What happens when we think about money as children, we hear our parents say we can't afford it. Money doesn't grow on trees. And so as children, most of the time, most of us hear negative inferences. So we have this negative imprint about money. And then as we grow older, we're afraid we're never going to have enough. When you attain success, then you're afraid you're going to lose it. And so you need to focus in on that imprint and get rid of it and realize that money is a tool. We live in a world of abundance. If you lose all your money today, do you have the ability to regain it? Yes, with hard work, determination, definiteness of purpose, and building those associations that will support you. So it's important not to allow money to become your master. You become the master of your money. And so it's very important that mindset is what happens is fear does one of two things. It paralyzes us Most of us are paralyzed by fear. But it also can motivate us. And so you want to flip that switch. And when you recognize that you have fear, say, okay, got it. It's going to motivate me to take action instead of be paralyzed.
And not be able to move. Yeah.
Yes. And we talk about courage. People say, well, courage is the absence of fear. No, courage is acting in spite of the fear. We all face fear. But how do we react and respond to that fear? And that's what you need to adjust. Don't get mad at yourself for being fearful because it's there. Just deal with it and say, okay, I'm going to get rid of it. I'm not going to be afraid anymore. I'm going to use that fear to take action to get rid of the fear.
And what happens when you overcome fear? And I'm talking about the fears that are there on a really deep subconscious level.
Well, you have a huge gift, because once you overcome that, it's not going to impact you nearly as badly. It may still have those little reminders. Something might happen and you feel a little tweak, but now you understand the tools and you've developed the ability to get past it. For many years, I was always feeling when I would walk into a room and somebody was upset, I would immediately, my empathy would bring me down to their level. And it took years of me working on that to realize that my greater service is to bring them up to my level. And so just the simple concept of you cannot change someone else. You can only change how you react to them. And so instead of going in and saying, oh, you're so sad, and start crying with them, you go in and say, let me help you process this and get them to come to your level so that you are actually adding value to their world instead of allowing them to take value from yours.
That is really powerful. And I know that will have resonated with so many people. Let's talk about people's belief in themselves. I know that a lot of people, that's one obstacle that they constantly say to me. They don't believe in themselves. From your experience, what would you say are the underlying factors behind self-belief?
Well, a lot of it is the fear related to your childhood or fear of criticism. I mean, it's a human trait. And women in particular, we have an issue with self-confidence. I hate to generalize because I usually get in trouble, but for women, we don't normally step up and ask for what we want. We've been, that maternal instinct, that nurturing, we tend to wait and put ourselves last. And in Think and Grow Rich for Women, I talk about acknowledging the fact that we have that issue. For instance, I'm much better at promoting you or one of my girlfriends than I am at promoting myself. And that's almost universal with women. So I say, let's recognize that and find that group of people that will help promote you while you promote them. And all of your self-confidence will grow to the point where you can stand up and promote yourself. So instead of trying to feel bad about having that lower self-confidence, take action by creating that environment where your self-confidence will grow. And recognize it, deal with it, and let it grow.
That is fantastic. That is so fantastic. So let us finish off by talking about living a life of significance and success. I know it's a key theme in all of your work. What does that mean to you?
Well, I think the definition of success is different for every individual. For me, success is how we feel about ourselves when we look in the mirror. It is not measured in dollars and cents unless that's your definition of success. And I think for women in particular, women are more concerned about the impact that they make than their net worth in general. And so it's okay. We can do more good with more wealth. So we want to do both. But again, I think in our psyche, we want to make a difference. We want to contribute. And so we talk about not how much success is in dollars and cents, but in the impact that we can make to our community, to our families, to our community, to globally. It's very important for each and every one of us to know that we've made an imprint, an impact. And so I think success and significance is an important philosophy for everyone to define on their own. To figure out, okay, some people are very happy And I applaud them for being in their family, nurturing their family, being together in their community, and that's all they want. They want that's their definition of success. And there's nothing wrong with that. So each of us needs to figure out what makes me happy. What will make me feel successful? And how will I feel like I've made a significant impact on the people I care about? And so each of us, don't define your success by looking at your neighbor. Don't define your success by looking at Gina or me. Define your success as to what you want out of your life and the future that you want, because you deserve to be as successful as you can be. And you will have significance when you put your focus on adding value.
Absolutely. Listen, it has been so great to get an insight into your world, Sharon. Thank you for sharing so openly with us here today. I know without any doubt in my mind that all the people that have been watching have resonated with your messages and what you've shared here. Now, if you want to get in touch with Sharon, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post all the ways that you can get in touch with her in the box below. So all the social media links will be in there. I know that Sharon does a fantastic podcast. Could you tell us a little bit about the podcast, Sharon?
No, absolutely. It's called Your Money, Your Business, Your Life. And you can access it by going to SharonLechterPodcast.com. It's through iTunes as well. But if you register through our site, you'll get notifications when new podcasts are coming out. So SharonLechterPodcast.com, Your Money, Your Business, Your Life. And would welcome all of you to sign up for that, as well as I have a mobile app and under Sharon Lechter, pretty easy, Lechter. So please join up. We just released that a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, that's exciting. Definitely check that out. So I'll post all those links as well in the box below so everybody has them. And I also know that you've got an event coming up in London in January. I believe it's the 23rd and 24th of January.
Yes, I'm very excited. I would love for all of you to come. It's going to be a fun weekend. It's going to be called the Event of Champions, and I'm honored to be there. We're doing a special VIP dinner at the Ritz-Carlton on Friday night, but the event is Saturday and Sunday. And I think I shared with you the link for that is eventofchampions.com, and would love to see all of your folks come.
Definitely. So the website for that is www.eventofchampions.com. And again, I'll share that in the box below. And we will be thrilled to have you here in London. It'd be nice to see you over this side of the pond.
I will love it. I love London. It's one of my favorite places. So I'm looking forward to being there.
That's fabulous. Now, one of the biggest stumbling blocks that I see over and over again is that people aren't clear on where they're heading. And I know that you've experienced this yourself, Sharon. People just don't know what it is that they want, and they get that feeling of, is there more to life than this? Without a clear direction, you'll feel unfocused, overwhelmed, and even out of control. I know because I've been there. I've been in that situation, and it wasn't very pleasant. I created a new course, which is, the whole point to releasing the summit. I wanted to talk to you about mastery and about my new course, which is called Discover Your Direction. I mentioned earlier that I work with determined, strong, persistent, and confident women to gain clarity on their vision and to define their direction. Now, when we work together, I take you through a formula to define what it is that you want, both in your business and in your life. And then we create a toolkit for you to ensure that you're focused, you're productive, and you're taking steps to achieve what it is that you want. And this is how it's delivered. We do 6 sessions over 3 months. We meet every 2 weeks because, in my experience, it takes a minimum of 3 months for you to be able to take something new, and put it into play to see some changes. If we could work together and put you on the path to the outcome that is what you're looking for, which is to have a stronger purpose in your life, to understand where you're going, and to have a plan to get there. If we can do this in 6 sessions to put you on that road, are you ready to begin to do that? Ask yourself that question now. And if you are, click on the link that I'll put in the box below to apply for the Discover Your Direction course. You'll have lots more information, and I'll be talking about it in my webinar, which is the end of this summit too. So to finish us off, Sharon, what message would you like to leave people with about vision and living a life of significance and success?
Well, thank you, Gina. It's been my honor to participate. I think I would just, for each and every one of you, you are the CEO of your own life. You are where you are today based on the decisions you've made before today. If you want something different, if you want to create a success that you've always dreamed of but haven't realized yet, you have all the tools necessary to create that success based on the choices and the decisions you make today and going forward. And imagine yourself, you're in the car, you're the CEO of your own life. You've got your hands on the steering wheel, your feet on the accelerator, you have the windshield in front of you. You can choose to go in any direction you want. Just remember the rear view mirror is very small. That's because you're only supposed to learn from the past. Don't allow it to label you. Don't allow it to pull you back. Look at it, go, I got the lesson. Put your focus back on the windshield, choose the direction you want to go, hands on the steering wheel, foot on that accelerator, and create the life that you deserve.
That is such a beautiful way to end. Thank you so, so much. It's been a real pleasure and an honor to speak to you, Sharon. And I know we'll connect again soon. Hopefully see you in London.
Absolutely. I will look forward to it. Thank you.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you so much, and we'll speak again soon. Bye for now.
Wonderful.
Bye. Hi, it's Gina, checking in with you. I hope you not only enjoyed that conversation that we just had, but it also got you thinking about your life and the direction it is heading. The biggest stumbling block that I see over and over and over again is that people aren't clear on where they're heading. They don't know what it is that they want, and they get that feeling of, is there more to life than this? Without a clear direction, you will feel unfocused, overwhelmed, and out of control. I know because I've been there. Here's what I know about people. The odds say that most people will do the same thing next year as they did this year. If you're ready to have 2016 be different than 2015, what's holding you back? From my experience, it is you. You're the only thing holding yourself back, be it consciously or subconsciously. So let's talk about how we can work together. I work with determined, strong, persistent, and confident women to gain clarity on their vision and their purpose and to define the direction. Here are the benefits that I think you will take away when we work together. The Discover Your Direction course is 6 sessions over 3 months. We're going to meet every 2 weeks because in my experience it takes a minimum of 3 months for you to be able to take something new and begin to put it into place and to start to see some changes. When we work together, I will take you through a formula to define what it is that you want in your business and in your life. We'll delve into mastering those situations that knock you off your feet and off your path. We'll explore being more skillful at handling difficult situations. We'll gain clarity on your vision and where you're heading, as well as starting to uncover your purpose. And then we will create a toolkit for you to ensure that you're focused, you're productive, and you're taking steps to achieve what it is that you want. In those 6 sessions, I have a formula that we're going to follow. But listen, these are your calls. And so if we break that formula because that's where you need to go, then that's what we're going to do. And someplace around session 4, we're going to start to assess how you're feeling and what's going on, and to look at the changes that you're sensing, if not the changes that you've already begun to put into place. And we're going to talk about that a little bit in session 4 and session 5, and certainly in session 6. And if at the end of 6 sessions you don't even see a little glimmer of light, despite your best effort and the work that you've put in, I will give you your money back. So the worst thing that can happen is you spend a few hours with me and nothing changes. The best thing that happens is we spend a few hours together and you're on your way to where you want to go. If we could work together and put you on the path to the outcome that you're looking for, which is to have a stronger purpose in your life, to understand where you're going, and to have a plan to get you there. If we can do that in 6 sessions to put you on the road, are you ready to begin to do that? If you are, click the link in the box below to apply for the Discover Your Direction course. Go ahead, check it out, the link's there in the box, Discover Your Direction course, apply now, and I look forward to working with you. Bye for now.